have a story about this crooked police out of Ohio. Now, this old crooked police lost his job and possibly his freedom after authorities say he lied about being robbed by a black man. Boy, when in doubt, blame a black man. That's all they got to do. So this guy by the name of Noah Linnen, he's 23 years old, was fired by the Warren Police Department on January 22nd after investigators determined that his story was a hoax. And on the same day, he was arraigned on several charges, including tampering with evidence, falsification, interrupting public service, and inducing panic. So they say he was off duty at the time when he called for help after a robbery on January 13th. So he told the Howland police officers he had to stop to assist a man in a broken down vehicle sitting on the side of the road. So Linnen claimed the man brandished a silver revolver with a black handle and demanded money in his service weapon. He said Linnen reportedly, the cop, told investigators he tossed his police shield to distract the man before he pulled his own weapon and the pair exchanged fire. So he said the accused man further stated his shoulder was struck by a bullet. As the investigators found a hole in his jacket, but no injuries. Okay. So he said Linnen described the suspect as a black man with a thin build who was wearing a hoodie that obstructed the view of his face, and he had a t-shirt pulled over his chin like a mask. So he said an affidavit from the prosecutor, I mean, this guy here is just a piece of work, stated that about 50 officers from various agencies responded to Linnen's call, and at least 3 black men were detained a significant period of time during the investigation. So random brothers that had nothing to do with anything, ladies and gentlemen, they just ran up on them. This is not the first time I reported on stories like this. So it say after changing his story about 4 times, it say he admitted that he was lying. It said Noah Linnen's false statements were calculated to mislead investigating officers in the commission of their official duties. His further action of fabricating a crime scene, wrongfully describing and accusing a black person by physical description, was an attempt to corrupt the outcome of the investigation, led to innocent persons being detained by the police. So it said in the last version of his story, Linnen said he fired his service weapon at a passing car and it almost hit his vehicle. When he realized he messed up, he concocted the story to explain why he used the gun. Now, he stated he had to stage the scene because he was fearful of what would happen if he got back to his supervisors, that he fired his duty weapon off duty and out of his jurisdiction. Okay. So they say Warren Mayor William Franklin and Police Chief Eric Merkel condemned Linnen's actions during a joint press conference Wednesday. He says it's a sad day for the city of Warren. He said, unfortunately, the issue of race was injected into this by Mr. Linnen. So he said he's angry and disgusted. He said the situation says no reason to believe the officer would have acted out like this based on the vetting process. I guess they supposedly vetted him before they hired him. Now, they said his actions, the cop, or former cop now, could have ruined the already tested relationship of Warren Police and the city's residents. Okay. He said the department was under the Department of Justice oversight until last year due to several instances of excessive force and unauthorized searches. This agency has undergone years of transformation in order to rebuild public trust. That said Merkel wrote in the Linnen's termination letter. He said, I will not allow one officer's actions to tarnish the relationship we have built in the community. So he pled the ex-cop not guilty to the charges and waived a scheduled disciplinary hearing last week. He said if convicted, he can face 6 years in prison, and I believe he should get every bit of it. But this isn't the first time this happened. I remember I covered a story about a white woman. She ended up shooting herself with her own gun, and she said a black man shot her. And he's wearing a green hoodie. They all say black men wearing a hoodie. You know, it's sad. It is very, very sad that these people, you wonder why I say have your Africa plan? Because at least over there, you ain't being messed with like that. You're not. Like I told you, you watched my Kenya video. I had a cool time talking to the police over there. He was talking about hip hop and everything. It was cool. I don't talk to these police over here. I don't trust none of them. Due to their history with us here. I mean, when you see them, they are the ex-slave patrol. And that's why they want to lock up so many black people, because they want us as slaves. But this guy was caught. But there's been ones that have done things, committed crimes and blamed brothers, and you have innocent brothers locked up right now. So you got 3 brothers that was hemmed up by the cops for something they didn't even do. I'm glad those brothers, you know, were released and wasn't arrested or anything, and they didn't stick nothing on them. But this guy, I'm glad he got arrested. But this kind of people you got out there, you talk about you vetted him. Obviously you didn't vet him enough, because he wouldn't have put no stunt like this. But leave me a comment, let me know what you think about this particular video. And let me tell you something, with these folks, they pull stunts like this, ladies and gentlemen. They will pull stunts, but hey, you know, I just shake my head at them. He said, these people never change.